I wanted to go over a biblical perspective about why God allows the deaths of innocents in the Old Testament. For example, men, women, and children were killed when Israelite community invaded Canaan. Sodom and Gomorrah, there were women and children. And other places in the Old Testament. But I wanted to go over the specific case of Israel invading Canaan and why God allowed them to destroy men, women, and children. So it said that God had been watching these people commit evil acts for centuries, and finally his anger had been fulfilled because these people committed acts that were extremely atrocious to us. For example, they would often burn their babies alive in fire to their gods. They would have sex with men, women, children, animals for their gods. They were really a despicable people. And from a biblical perspective, it is actually mercy to end the life of these children because they would grow up to become these people. And if they were killed under what the Christians and Jewish people consider the age of accountability. So the age of accountability in biblical perspective is the age at which you understand what sin is and that you can repent from your sin. So, for example, most people put that at the age of 13. However, it is not dependent only on age. It depends on mental aptitudes, obviously. If you have special needs and you never understand your sin, you never come to the age of accountability, for example. So there's many caveats to that. So, but all these children would grow up to be these horrible people, and that is why God said, end everyone. Just end these entire people because they're disgusting. They're worse than, they're worse than, the Nazis would have been, and they're worse than the ISIS as today. They burn their children alive in fire to their gods. That's probably worse than anything that I know about going on in this world today. Because there's a lot of murder, but of like your own children and stuff. But burning alive in fire, that's really, anyway. So. And then having sex openly with animals and children and stuff, that's not something that goes on in a whole community today. So God said, wipe them out, just wipe them out. And so that is a biblical perspective of why that happened, and why, from a biblical standpoint, it makes sense. And it actually is a loving and merciful way to end these people.